A very exciting Monday here in the studio as we have a special guest joining us. He's a chef who also happens to be the ambassador for Ukrainian cuisine, Chef Yurii Kovryzhenko. He's here with us right now. Good morning, Chef. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me.
All right,
Good morning.
we're going to talk a little bit about the introduction of Ukrainian cuisine to Indonesia.
Right, I'm mouth-watering at the moment, seeing the video
smells good in the
earlier.
studio,
Amazing. And once again, thank you for joining us here in the studio, Chef. So this is your first time here. What do you think of our studio and your set later to cook your dishes? So basically, what do you think of our country and how many Indonesian dishes have you tried? Or do you ever try Indonesian dishes before?
Yeah. First of all, the absolutely gorgeous studio.
Thank you so much.
It's very light. Great for the morning show.
Okay.
I see a lot of morning
So
shows.
it's a proper set for you to cook later?
Yeah.
All
And,
right.
the last month I was at the morning show, Sunday morning show at the BBC.
Right.
And your studio is better.
So speaking about your specialty to cook, about the meals and dishes, everything, have you ever tried Indonesian food?
Yes, we will try the yesterday and day before yesterday some Indonesian food. It was quite interesting. It was stewed cow nose and lips.
Oh, yeah. What is that called?
Rujak cingur. Tapi it's like a stew.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's more look like a hot salad.
Okay.
Yeah, it was very nice, a little bit sweet, spicy at the same time, but not too much.
Okay.
And I love Indonesia.
Nice.
Is it too spicy for you? Our food tends to be spicy.
No, because we're traveling a lot. I'm lived in South Korea 1 year or so. In Indonesia, it's not so spicy like in Korea.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
okay.
true. Yeah, it's quite spicy.
Nice.
So let's talk a little bit about culinary diplomacy. You've practiced this in many countries. How many countries have you done this in so far? And what is culinary diplomacy?
I'm never count the numbers of the country.
It's too many.
It's like, it's really too many. We was around all Europe and a lot of countries in Asia and even Africa. So I don't know. I should count.
Yeah, you should keep track.
Yeah.
So what is it? What is culinary diplomacy?
Culinary diplomacy, it's for my opinion, it's one of the most important things because the first culinary diplomat was the Marie-François Carême.
Okay.
It was the chef of Minister Talleyrand. And they start to promote the country by the French food.
Okay, through food.
Through food,
Okay.
yes. And all chefs who are working with the other ministers of foreign affairs after him, after the 19th century, they are like his grandsons.
Okay.
And that's interesting because we have birthday in one day with Marie-François Carême.
Okay.
So if you believe in karma and everything,
You will again,
but
right.
it's just joking. And but the culinary diplomacy can explain the culture of the country and help to make different countries more closer to each other. Relationships, absolutely. And I believe the food can come very deep in the heart.
Yes.
That's the universal language that
Yes.
you can use to speak with the people.
I always believe that there's two very good ways where countries, you don't have to speak the same language, but I always find two things connect people very well. Well, three if you count music, sports, and food. I always think those three things always connect people from all around the world.
You know, it's a sport, yes?
Yes.
If you have the game and your country with my country, I don't think that
Like
it's
the
very
pride,
unite.
I remember one of the phrases that love comes from the first sight, and also love comes from a happy tummy.
Yes, that's
because of the food, right?
Absolutely.
So speaking about food and culinary itself, probably it's not really popular, especially here in Indonesia, to know about Ukrainian food. So, Chef, before we go on and you will explain about the plan, the culinary diplomacy that you have, what is the specific or the most popular dish in Ukraine?
Well, if we're talking about the most popular in Ukraine, sure, it's a borscht that we
You are going to
make
cook later.
today. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What is called bush?
borscht.
Bush. Okay.
Borscht, yeah. And it's coming from the centuries because the first reminding about the borscht, it was 15th century by the German traveler Martin Grunewer, and he was in Kiev. And he wrote in his diaries that the citizens of the Kiev cooked around, cooked borscht, and they have around 40 recipes in 15th century.
Wow.
Now it's even more.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's very important for us. Every family have their own recipe. It's like the
interesting.
food war, my borscht is better. No, my borscht is better. And it's very dangerous when some guy who have the wife and the mom can say his wife, my mom's borscht better. It's like suicide, really.
Well, they have different variations. of it,
that's
right? Depending on the family you're
interesting.
from. So we heard that you also opened a restaurant with your partner in London with
Yeah.
the aim of helping Ukrainian refugees that have escaped due to the Russian conflict. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, we're coming to London just 5 days before war.
Right.
And when the war starts, we're stuck there. So we start to think how we can help our country. We start make a lot of fundraising events, and at least we decide to open the restaurant.
Okay, so when you went to London, nobody saw this coming, right? You didn't, but you already had the aim of opening a restaurant at the time.
No. It was the short trip. The ambassador of Ukraine in UK invite us to make the Culinary Diplomacy events. And it should be short trip for 1 week. We have back tickets for 27th February.
Which never happened,
Yeah,
obviously.
yeah. So it's like good reminding for us.
Yeah. And regarding to this situation in Ukraine as well, we know that you're active to raise funds for Ukraine through charities and everything. How it's going?
It's good. It's good. We are made a lot of them, a lot of dinners, lunches, for example. One of the biggest one, it was with Irish chef Richard Corrigan and the chef Nigel Bottetti from GW Marriott Grosvenor.
Right.
We are made lunch for Ukraine for 1,000 people.
Wow.
It was fine dining lunch for 1,000 people.
Wow. Yeah.
We are collect around 176,000 pounds.
Oh, wow, nice.
Yeah, so it's huge amount. And it was great evening with Jamie Oliver.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. We show them how to make the Ukrainian varenik dumplings.
Wow.
And he was the waiter this evening.
Really?
Yes, yes.
Wow, that's very special.
It's very kind. And we are also prepared the borscht and some special buns, the garlic buns. We call it pampushkas.
Okay.
This is it.
Yes, we saw that in the video.
And the Jamie is coming to the table as a waiter. This is pampushkas.
Oh, make even special.
Yes.
Amazing, right?
He has a restaurant in Bali as well, right?
Yes, everywhere, everybody. How's the people respond to Ukrainian food?
It's great because I think it's something new for all people around the world.
Yes, true.
The Ukrainian gastronomy at that moment not very good known.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not really
And
popular, right?
that's what we try to change.
Okay. So you, apart from borscht, what other dishes that are traditional to Ukrainian cuisine that you usually introduce to them?
It's Ukrainian dumplings, vareniki. It's the hash browns. It's not hash browns, we call it deruni. It's grated potato
In like a pancake, is it?
Yes, it's like a pancake, the
right.
zucchini pancakes,
Okay.
a lot of different types of the crepes with cottage cheese, with jams, with honey. The Ukrainian honey cake, very important dessert for our culture, because you know the Ukraine is one of the biggest producers of the honey in the world.
Right.
Right?
And we have a lot of different types of the porridge, like buckwheat or pear barley.
Okay.
And also, surely you know the chicken Kiev. I think it's one of the most famous dish in the world.
Right. So I noticed Ukrainian cuisine, all the things you mentioned, it seems somewhat more on the healthier side. Like
Yeah.
I didn't hear a lot
Like,
of fried foods and things
No,
like
the
that.
fast food,
Yeah, is that generally how the food is prepared in a healthier
homemade.
It's not very healthy.
Really?
Only because the traditions and the winter in Ukraine is quite hard.
Oh, right.
It can be around -20.
Okay.
Oh my God.
So food should be very, very energetically power, and that's why it's quite oily, quite fat.
Okay.
But now we try to change it because the
Right.
21st century, everybody wants to be skinny,
More conscious.
smart. Yes,
Right.
true.
All right.
And,
Nice.
yeah, I try to change a little bit this part.
Would love to try Ukrainian food
definitely.
one day.
Yeah.
What do you think, Chef? What makes Ukrainian food is so good, according to you? Obviously, but what makes it unique?
I think it's unique because it's have absolutely great culinary heritage. And the roots goes to the time of Kiev Rus more than 1,000 years ago.
Right.
And the Ukrainian food is very universal
Okay.
because we don't use the spices. We have just garlic, black pepper, salt, maybe a little bit thyme and the bay leaf, that's all.
Right.
So in every country can understand our food.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess it's not just rich in flavor, but also rich in heritage and
Yes.
culture as
That's
well.
We
the
try to left
similarity.
the taste of the original product.
Right. So one last thing before we want to get you cooking as soon as possible here. But you continue. We talked a little bit about your restaurant. You still continue to actively raise funds for Ukraine through charities as well. Can you tell us about some of the charity work that you do?
About the charity, it's a lot. It's really a lot. After the time when we start to build the restaurant, we're stopped a little bit because before that we are made fundraising events like every few days.
Really?
And we are collect around $1 million for the last half year. For example, was absolutely great event with Michelin chefs like Jason Atherton, Tom Kitchen, Tom Seller, Tom Brown. It was 10 hands dinner and with auction, and the champion of the world, Alexander Usyk, gave for that auction his the boxing
Yes,
gloves
correct.
with signs
Nice.
and his personal training.
Wow.
So we are collect for that. We are collect 100,000 pounds.
Wow.
Wow.
Yes, and Alexander Usyk is also coming.
You got to
Like
meet him?
himself, yeah.
Alexander. You're sick.